I've seen pubic hair, man, and never like a bear, man. I even got my share, man, beneath my underwear, man. Sticking out here and there, man. I've seen pubic hair.
Hello everyone, this is Thermite, and this is the Dr. Stone segment. We're live at you with chapters, 103 to 107, I believe? Somewhere around there, vaguely. I'm here with my stoner boys, Donuts.
Hey guys, how's it going, dudes?
Damage.
That's bad.
And Zaku.
420 blaze it.
So, full disclosure, we recorded a segment for this 3 weeks ago that didn't work out. We had to toss it in the garbage. So,
Trash.
we don't really want to rehash much of what we talked about on that segment, so briefly, I think that all the forensic science was unneeded, and they all hated me for saying it.
We still hate you for saying it.
You all agreed with me at the start, and then as soon as I said that I didn't think it was necessary at all, they all dogpiled on me, changed their opinions, and now they're in favor of it.
Well, now you
Also,
don't have...
Donut thinks that that girl's hat is a bald spot, or at least
I
fought
don't.
for the longest time.
I thought for one chapter.
You fought for at least 3 chapters.
I thought for one chapter. It was during the week break, so it was for 2 weeks, but it was one chapter.
Really? I thought you mentioned in chapter 105 that you still thought it was bald spots.
At the beginning
Yeah.
of it, at the very beginning, before I had read the chapter. I still was no confirmation it's a hat. I'm just saying, because they haven't brought it up that it's a bald spot, I'm going with it's not a bald spot.
I mean, she had it when she was a child, and it was also falling off of her head when she was on the boats.
I didn't even notice. Well, I stand by my point then. I want whoever designed that hat to be killed. I will be honest in saying that
Boichi on Twitter.
this arc is tough to look at.
The character designs are more weird than they've ever been.
Okay, yeah.
That and mainly the girl. She's just tough to look at.
Is she, though?
It's the head, man. It's the hat. It's like I didn't think I had a not like a phobia or anything like that, but I didn't realize how grossed out I was by what looks like single wet greasy hairs on a bald spot on somebody's head. I recently was at my sister's graduation, and I had to sit behind a man who was going bald. All top of his head was bald except for hair around the sides, like he was a fucking monk. And he had the most disgusting bald spots with little singular hairs poking out of moles and stuff, and I just sit right behind it. And I could not stop thinking of this girl.
Boy, oh boy.
So that is my recap of chapters 103 and 104.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got introduced to a slew of new characters in these recent couple chapters. I guess not a slew of them, but more, which is we haven't had for a while.
Yeah, it feels a lot like early Ishigami Village, where there's a bunch of crazy, wacky characters and we don't know anything about them, but they've got gimmicks.
They sure do.
Boy, do they.
I do like that there's we still know so little about the island. It's big enough to hold multiple villages where they don't know everybody from each village.
Yeah.
So assuming the village is big enough, Ishigami size.
Yeah.
They're big and they're separated. They don't have a defined central culture. They do have things that are similar, like the way they dress, but clearly it's not that everyone knows everyone's situation.
Yeah, and we can already see some differences, maybe in hairstyle. Maybe that's the only that seems to be the only difference I can see so far in hairstyle or facial hair or something. Because I assume the big boys, they're all people from multiple villages, I would assume.
That makes
Big
sense.
boys?
The wedding boys?
Yeah, the harem boys.
Wait, were they all from the same village?
Not the what?
Went all
the ones
from
that were
Amaryllis's place.
Are they all from her village?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what's up with the other villages? Are they just like, they don't give a fuck about them?
Well, I assume they're separate villages.
But aren't all the people that are from the village that what's the name of it?
Do we have a
said
name
it.
for it?
You just said it. Oh no. You were saying the girl's name is Amarisa. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
her name's
Amarisa?
Amaryllis.
Amaryllis?
Amaryllis.
Anyway, if they're all from her village, so all the people working for Y-Man are from her village?
No. Just the people that were, like, trying to date her.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, damn, it confused me with the wedding thing. I'm talking about all the people that are working for Y-Man. I assume they are from multiple villages.
You mean the people
Okay.
down on the boat?
Like
Yes.
Mozu, Kirisame,
Yes.
Ibarra.
I don't know any of these people's names, so it's gonna be very difficult for me.
Don't you mean Nippleman, Gigantomachia, and the Tasmanian Devil?
Yeah, like, they definitely do look different. The one thing they seem to have in common, and I could be wrong about this, is that it looks like they have cracks, but it looks like they were carved into them. Like, they're not, like, jagged cracks. They're not like Gen's crack, for instance, which, like, it looks very aesthetic, but it's not, like, as smooth as, like, Mozu and Kirisame's, where they have, like, these swirly things, like Sanji eyebrows almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could also be going in with the mustache, though.
Maybe.
Because
like,
did big old boy, did lanky string bean, did he have dreads? Did he have dreads, or he was wearing a hat, so it was kind of hard to tell, wasn't it?
Yeah. He does have, like, I assume cracks that look kind of like mascara coming from his eyes, but then he has, like, a normal mustache coming out of his mustache area.
Yeah. He does have that, like, thick black hair, though. It's not quite a dread, like, it's not capped like those other guys, but
Yeah.
I would believe that might be a specific style.
Okay.
Like, with the mustaches, but as you said, he's got, like, that eyeliner that kind of just keeps going up into his hair.
Mhm.
And we can see something around the back there. You can see it peeking around the back of his head.
Yeah.
Isn't that just more hair?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hair peeking around the back of his head.
Alright.
Like, it's definitely stylized in a weird way. It's not like coming down like dreads. It's definitely shaved or something. But I don't know. I don't really see any other distinction between the villages.
Yeah, not yet. Like, we need to see more people to get a good idea of, like, are they significantly different? Is is Ibarra from a village where everyone wears these, like, Gurren Lagann ass hats?
Why are you guys saying Gurren Lagann ass hats? What about this is Gurren Lagann-esque? Also, if that is the case, by the way, all of these people would have been from the same village if I am right about the hairstyle thing, so... They would have all been from whatever her name is, village. Bald Girl's village. She's gonna call her Bald Girl.
Oh, boy.
I know it's not a bald spot, but it's a hat designed to look like a bald spot.
Oh, boy.
Sure.
Yeah, so, moving on from that, we got Kirisame's flashback, which I think is extremely important, because holy shit, we saw people getting stoned for the first time in the series, apart from, the very, very starts.
Yeah, and we see pretty much how it happens and everything. Like, but we get a lot of information on it, a hell of a lot of information.
A lot of information, but a lot more mystery too.
Yeah.
Yes, but now we know it's now more scientific. Like, other than the giant eyeball in the sky.
I mean, even that's, like, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but it looks like it's an explosion.
Yeah, I think it could be something like that, but I don't think this is on the level of, sulfuric acid chan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like a bubble of something. Like, it expands to a certain size and then stays, so maybe it's like a bubble or like a field.
Yeah.
More than like a rays, or waves coming out of the center of that explosion.
Yeah, like the area of effect is very distinct. Like there's a specific cutoff point.
But it's not a bubble because it does go outwards. It just stops at a certain point.
Yeah.
But it does move out.
Yeah.
And I assume the bubble goes away because we don't know how soon the bubble goes away, but it has to be pretty quickly because the boat flips and she would have gone right into the bubble.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because
No,
look,
because, like, when-
she's right on the edge of the bubble, and then it flips. Like we still see it right there in the next panel, but then the boat flips, and she's. But you can still kind of see it above. I'm not sure how the
Yeah.
physics work on that.
Like
I guess
through the water, you can see the light. It's got to be the bubble.
Don't think the physics work out in that at all, but sure.
I guess she had to have been thrown up in the air without touching the bubble at all.
Yeah, perfectly straight
Well, her
up.
hair touched the bubble.
This was
No, I mean,
after.
like right after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you got the panel of, like, she's almost touching it. She's super close. Then the boat capsizes because everyone turns to stone. She flies upwards, and then she falls back down, presumably.
I think it was wrong. There's no science in this. Physics just don't work.
We may be able to. We now know that the petrification is science, but we also know that gravity is fucked up here.
I mean,
1% chance. Donut was right. Fuck my life, I guess.
Inagaki
Oh, right.
confirmed
No one
it.
knows about that.
Inagaki
so-
did confirm that there is a 0.1. Nobody knows about this meme though.
Nobody knows
Uh-huh.
about this meme. Let's explain for a second, okay? So, way back when we were talking about Dr. Stone, we were talking about how unlikely it is that there wouldn't be massive gene defects due to genetic inbreeding within the people of Ishigami Village and, as we now know, the island. And Donut came to us with like, oh, but there's a 0.001 chance.
My point was, it is not definite. You don't know for sure. There is a 0.0001% chance that it might be okay. And this just happens to be that scenario.
It's very convenient.
Then Inagaki said, yep. It's like, he almost used basically the exact same statement there.
Yeah.
I agree. You can't prove it.
We need to hear this from science consultant Karari first.
Yes.
Let's get Karara's opinion about this.
I think Harari would agree. You can't prove it. It's only theoretical. You can't prove it. It's never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Doctor Stone is gonna have to delve into science fiction at some point. This is that. We're going to as we're continuing on, but this is also that. This is something that he can't point to science to. It's never been done. It's all theoretical.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. It doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah. I'm mostly bothered by the fact that you turned out to be right.
People have a problem with it because it's unlikely. It's also unlikely that they would, for 3,000 years, stay awake and continue counting or continue getting cucked.
Eternal.
Check one.
Forgot we always gotta ring up cucking.
Every time.
It's not a Dr. Stone segment if you don't do that.
Don't worry, audience. In the episode that you didn't see, we did bring up cucking without being prompted to. Not as a joke. It just happens.
Listen, it's just a natural place this goes in Dr. Cuck.
So, speaking of Dr. Cuck, we have to make the most ugly, ugly piece of shit garbage character in Dr. Stone cute. Kohaku. Everybody knows her. Everybody hates her, right? She's such an uggo.
I mean,
You know.
as we've learned, I don't understand sexuality, so I have to just agree at this point. Of course, I don't know, but if Inagaki says that she's a complete uggo who looks like trash and can't get a guy, then that's how it happens. Like,
Yeah.
maybe all those shots we had before where we weren't seeing her panties, we were just seeing the thighs, it was just gross out humor.
Yeah, that disgusting fucking trash baby Kohaku.
Look, maybe Boichi's artist isn't doing enough justice to his notes. Maybe he wrote, oh, you have to make her as ugly as a gorilla. And Boichi just went away with the character design. He made the cutest looking villain shown in
Okay, got it. Thighs like a gorilla. Bam, got you, bro.
Inagaki just wrote down a gorilla. It's just a character that is a gorilla.
Boy, she cannot abide.
I don't even know what they're gonna do, because she's already literal perfection. You can't improve her character design. at
She
all.
already has, like, figures being made of her and shit, and there's not even an anime out.
Exactly.
I actually do need to ask, like, the outfit that she puts on, that Amaryllis gives her, like, is that an upgrade? Does it look
No,
weird?
it's more clothing than what she was wearing before.
I mean, they're trying to make her no, they're trying to make her cuter. Does this make her
It's-
cuter? No.
No. It's like she's wearing like a
different,
top.
but it's not better, definitely.
So would I say it makes her more pretty? Maybe like from from that standpoint, perhaps. But does it
In a
make her
stone age,
cuter?
It
No.
makes her conform to more old-fashioned standards of beauty.
Does it?
But that's
Does
not
it?
cute.
Because also, like, her boobs are just out there. Like, that's way more revealing than a normal, like, old-fashioned dress. She's got a super big slit where you can see an entire leg.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty.
okay.
That's what I feel like most modern dresses are like. Not old fashioned, but
It also looks partially see-through.
Well, that is the thing that we've seen multiple times. Like, it seems like this island is all about the see-through garments.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're men of culture.
Damage, are you the Y man?
Don't ask yourselves why. Ask yourselves why not.
Hey. Nice.
Don't ask yourselves why. Ask him, why, man? Where did you put the weed?
What?
This is an excuse to make it the Dr. Stoner jokes, actually.
Also, right, this island definitely does have transparent outfits. I noticed when they're looking at the ship, you can just fully see Amarilla Sass's ass.
Oh, yeah. That's very
And of course, Soyuz is right behind it, the poor boy.
This poor horny boy. He's just surrounded by temptation everywhere.
He's got the North Blue disease. Yeah, like when Kohaku is stripping, Gin looks like he's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Like it really is great having two main characters who like won't do anything or really truly act like they care, but they're not immune to it. They are enjoying this.
It's something we don't see a lot in Jump. It's usually either, someone who is unabashedly like, I'm okay with this. I'm fine with this. I'm kind of a perv. Or someone who is just like, oh no, I saw a girl's leg. I'm so embarrassed. I'm gonna kill myself.
Maybe
This
she was
is
wearing
why.
a lab coat.
I am impure!
Yeah, this is why we have Soyuz here to be that character. Like Inagaki realized, oh no, I can't have someone not freak out over a girl.
How will the Japanese people know it's supposed to be sexual?
I'm sorry,
it's true.
Yuzuki.
So
I
you
can't
have-
date you until I've accidentally walked in on every girl on the planet. It's only fair.
God, why is like Soyuz has not reacted to her normally on the island, so I guess it's true. I guess she is ugly as shit.
Yeah.
How can you say that with that cat-like face?
Also,
Cat-like face is pretty great.
Yeah, it's great. We finally get the payoff. The payoff we've all been waiting for of why Sinku isn't related to his dad, so he could get a kiss on the cheek. You can't have that incestuous kiss on the cheek from 3,000 years ago.
His expression during that whole scene is great.
Yeah.
He's so done with it.
I also love Kirasame's like mental image of what Kawaku must be like.
Oh yeah.
There's just a
What
small
is-
Moe girl screaming in broken Japanese about her boyfriend.
That face is the best face we've ever gotten in Dr. Stone. I don't
The
know.
one where she's actually seriously screaming for lab is pretty good too. It takes up the entire panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So huge.
I like how though she was in the middle of fighting her, and then I need lab, and then she just left her alone. It's like, well, all right, guess that's fine. Bye.
I guess your cover story checks out.
Uh-huh.
Because there are more strangers here.
One of which escaped. Well, I guess she wouldn't know he was a baby, but
It'd be pretty weird if she remembered that.
hey, you
remember
know,
that face.
I also have childhood amnesia, or don't.
I don't. Oh. Man, speaking of which, that Tasmanian devil chick with the weird dress thing over her boobs and the transparent dress that just goes up into a big whirl every time she does a kick. That's a weird, weird fighting style.
It's every fighting style in Dr. Stone that's not one of our like it's not on the ally side. It's just how can I just make it look like a blur?
Has every enemy's fighting style involved spinning in some way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not magma.
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. Every enemy that's not on the allies' side.
You
Like,
know,
every
we
like
had
fighting
the spinny
person that's not on that.
spear, and now the spinny person, and a couple of other peoples that also spun around a lot.
Homura did flips. Homura did flips.
Okay.
I mean, that's really the main three: is Homura, Sakazu, and Hyoga. Hyoga spun the fucking thing, and we never understood what he was doing with it. Homura did flips, and we constantly complained about never knowing what the fuck she was doing. And now we have Kurosawa, who spins, and we're gonna constantly complain about having no idea what the fuck she's doing.
I mean, I can understand what she's doing. She's doing extremely exaggerated roundhouse kicks, but it's just drawn weirdly.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least with her, I understand that part of it's also just to get that bush shot, to get the censorship going.
I don't think it's a push shot.
I'm pretty sure it's a bush shot.
I'm pretty sure every single character in Dr. Stone is completely waxed.
Readers, go to chapter 107, page 12. Look right down Kurosawa's crotch. It's black. There's this black fuzzy thing
It's
there.
shading.
I mean,
Pretty sure that's vagina hair.
No, they are all
Pretty
completely
sure it's
waxed.
shading.
They were all completely waxed.
how? They don't have the technology.
I know, but it just every time we see it, it looks like it must
Listen,
be.
there's a 1% chance.
I mean,
This is
they do
Boichi.
have technology. It's just, they can't make new technology. So maybe the master did invent, shaving cream.
No,
or
he just
wax.
fires the petrification beam, and they just slowly move a little bit towards it until it gets turned to stone. And
It
they
does
chop
turn hair
it
to
off.
stone.
Yeah.
I guess you could just turn the pubic hair to stone and then chop it off.
That's what they do.
Listen, this is the most reasonable possible assumption we can make here.
You know, Tsukasa really was the most clear action in the series because he just punched things.
He also
Very
had a
clear
big
action to follow.
sword thing.
Magma as well. Magma just does big punches. Yeah, he did have a big old
and,
sword thing as well.
Ginro as well. Ginro just runs away.
Very,
Very clear what he's doing at any given time.
What else? I feel like we're missing something. Oh, we have Chrome in the barrel at the end.
Chrome.
Yeah, you know,
Chrome.
other Chrome. Again, the silver Chrome.
Again.
That's
Yeah,
both
real
silver.
Chrome is being smashed to pieces right now.
As you pointed out, he does have 2 drumsticks and some water, so he clearly intended to hide in the barrel.
Yep.
I am so incredibly excited to see how he does it because, first of all, the lab is below deck. We saw the cutout of the boat. It's not easy to get to the lab. Then he has to get it out. The ship is docked,
it
but it's not
float?
attached to land. He's either gonna have to put it on the water or move the entire ship over a little bit.
Have you put
Does
out
it
to the
float? I mean,
water?
it's made of water. I mean,
It's
I'm
made
sorry.
of
It's made of wood.
That's a fucking pretty amazing ship there. It's made of water.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just got done watching Someone's Insanity's discussion on Promised Neverland episode 3, where one of their prime theories was, what if the wood isn't wood? So I have that on my mind.
It could float. I guess the main thing is just that it's loaded with glass and other science gear, so you wouldn't want to just throw it into the water.
I
Doesn't it
mean,
look a weird-
you wouldn't, but Gin would.
It also has this hydraulic press thing at the bottom of it, so maybe he can raise it up.
Yeah. Well, what's that gonna do? Oh, right. Okay, look on the panel right next to it. There's 2 big flaps that probably open up for it.
Oh, I did not notice that. Yeah. Okay.
They're gonna just have to break a few corpses as they do it, but they're gonna open it up and fucking Ryusui's corpse is gonna fall down and break everything on the goddamn thing.
The main problem is getting it off is a big deal. The mainer problem is just that it's also just surrounded by enemies. How is he gonna wheel this thing out? You can't just say he's from another village.
Maybe they're not going to be there forever. I assume most of them
But then
will
they
go
could just
back.
go there and get it themselves.
Yeah. Because also, I feel like you'd want to at least have a small crew there to keep watch. You'd want at least one person there. You're not just gonna leave it alone.
Well, yeah, I mean, just most of them will leave. So
Also,
somebody's gonna be
I'm
somewhere.
calling it now. They probably know that there's not everybody here because they had the manifest, right? They had a whole list of who was going to be on the ship.
We don't know if they can read, though.
True.
Like, they did have a list that they were reading off at the start of the arc of like, hey, okay, here's all the people who are going to be on the boats. So there is a list.
Oh my
there.
god.
What?
They're going to, maybe at some point, capture all of them or whatever. Something happens, because Suika's not on the list.
Ah.
Oh.
So even if they catch, even, like, I said this as a pro theory, but now I think it might actually happen. Okay, what if Genro goes, tries to do all this, is about to do it, and can't, and is captured, and like, well, there's still these other, 4 people who we don't have here that were on the manifest and everything like that, and they see them, something would happen, go to chase them, and Suika's the one to do it. I said as a joke,
Possible.
pro theory that Suika is gonna do it before Genro can even fucking do it.
I mean, this does depend on them finding the manifest.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I feel like that might be foreshadowing that they brought that whole thing up. I mean, it could not be, but maybe.
And we also have name shenanigans already with, Senku changing, quote unquote, his name to Lab. Like, it could just be that they capture Suika, and then Suika's like, my name is Senku.
Why would she say that?
So that when they're rounding everyone up, they're like, alright, everyone's accounted for.
That would be great. She just says my name is Suika, and like, did you say Senku? Okay, get her.
Yes, that.
Jesus. I could see it. I can see it.
Do they know the word for watermelon?
They might not. Like, are watermelons in the 100 Tales?
They know the Japanese word for watermelon.
They knew the word for Soyuz.
I mean, they have the rocket there, though.
I mean, did they just look at it and go, let's name a fucking kid at? Like, just... that looks like a cool word.
I mean,
Well, it's better than going fucking tripping on a rock and being like, ow, fuck, oh, shiny rock, I'll name my kid that.
We did.
That's
Like, we
also
are
weird.
hinting that, or not hinting at it, like, there was that joke, I guess, that everyone else was like, oh yeah, Soyuz, he looks kind of like the, like a village chief or something. Maybe Soyuz is, because that's a very important name to give a random person.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was somebody really important.
We only saw
that
his
was-
mom leave, so.
Yeah.
Like, it could be something like, the first chief had multiple wives or something, she was going to be killed or turned to stone, so they left. And so, like, you can come back and be the rightful owner of Soyuz Village.
Or maybe
possible.
even Soyuz Island.
No, I doubt it. Because that would
What-
be...
you know,
why
what
would
if-
he
what-
control it, not Y-Man?
Listen, what if he's Y-Man's son?
What?
Why, man's son?
We don't know. I mean, whoever the person is who's collecting this harem, the master, if it's a Y-Man or not.
Yeah,
Like,
the master's son.
yeah, they clearly have a lot of kids. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, this one lady, I don't want her around. Let's kill her. And then it didn't happen because she left.
Do we just defeat the Y-Man because he's super fucking horny all the time?
Yes, he's gonna fall for
well-
Kohaku. Do everything she says.
Or Hawk is just gonna rip his dick off with her thighs.
Look at Kawaku and go,
my.
what is this gorilla? Disgusting.
Thanks for that mental image, donut.
Well, I guess that's
I think
the
we
Dr.
hit our
Stone
peak there.
segment. It's a big old mysterious arc, but hey, now we know where the petrification is, like, the petrification stuff is now, too. So we could even do it ourselves. Not sure why we would want to, but we could. We could just petrify everybody on the fucking boat if we needed to, and then just unpetrify them all later.
We could just petrify Hyuga.
What if you double petrify people?
I don't think you can.
We never tried
Yeah,
it.
like, I mean, I guess there is a 0.001% chance.
Maybe it's a cure. Maybe it'll de-petrify him.
Turns him into wood.
Thank you
Or
guys for
water.
listening to Dr. Seven segments. We're done. Get out for now. Hello, everyone. everyone. This is Thermite, and this is the Samurai 8 segment of the weekly manga discussion podcast. I'm here with my good, noble Samurai Donuts.
Hello. I couldn't think of a Japanese thing to say. Hello.
And the filthy Ronin damage.
Believe it.
That's the Damagatsu to you.
So, we started Samurai 8. I mean, Samurai 8 started with chapter 0.1, which,
It's not really a chapter.
interesting idea. I mean,
It's
not an
barely
interesting
even-
idea.
It's barely even a prologue.
It's not
It's
a
nothing.
prologue. It's barely a prequel.
It's barely a teaser.
It's a
nothing.
synopsis of the series. Not even really,
much.
but like it's
Alright.
less than a synopsis of the series. It's a character synopsis.
Yeah. It's like the night before chapter 1.
Yeah. It's strange. But the actual series proper, I don't even think about chapter 1. I honestly don't think about it as being part of the series. I doubt it'll be in volume 1 even. I feel like they're going to take it out of volume 1.
It does feel like a magazine-only thing to get people interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, at the very least, it involves the main character, which the first chapter of Samurai 8 takes quite a while to get to that.
Yeah, I guess it's because like it did like they were like, well, they've already seen the main character, so we can take a bit to get to him. But yeah, it does take quite a bit. It takes 13 pages to get to him.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot. But like,
I mean-
but the character we do follow is you know, going to be the person that's the secondary character in the series. It seems like.
Yeah. Like, it does make sense. It's just it's a bold thing to do for a brand new series.
It's only not a bold thing to do. It's only a thing that like is expected because it's Kishimoto. So it's not like he's anybody else just running a series for the first time. He automatically has more leeway.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He has that power where, like, you know that you're going to read all of chapter 1. You're probably not going to drop it in chapter 1, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Or even like yeah, just by like recognition of his name, more people would like pick it up even later on and like not like immediately drop it because they're reading it because of his name and not just like checking out a random series. If this is a random series and this is the first page, a lot more people would probably drop it than just knowing it's his name.
Yeah.
I actually like that Kishimoto is coming back to do a whole new series, because it feels like he can do more of whatever kind of story he wants to tell without having to worry about keeping it in the magazine. Like, having like to keep readers that interested in it.
I don't know, because I feels like now more than ever is a really rough time to run and jump. Feels like more than before, it's tougher.
I guess, yeah, but there isn't like sort of like a big weight of looming failure above his head. If this like, you know, series tanks, he's still set for life.
Yeah,
So-
I guess he can take more risks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying multiple times across many jumpstarts that there is this sort of like jumpstart formula that a lot of series have been following. Okay, here's the series, here's how I'm going to engage the audience. This is when we do the backstory 9 chapters in. And it feels like Samurai 8's, it cannot do that because of Kishimoto's influence, because he knows that he's not going to get canceled, at least for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I'm also not reading it because it's Kishimoto. I can't say that half the reason that I enjoy the series is not because it's him, and because I really enjoyed early Naruto. Not as much as early Bleach, but like both of those things, early Naruto and early Bleach, the tone of both of those things, Samurai 8 is encapsulating perfectly, and I miss that sort of like old school shonen series that took a while to get going and it, like with its main plot, and just spent a lot of time in the like countryside on it, or not the countryside, but the just normal life side of things, small town sort of life.
Like before the big epic plot stuff.
Yeah, like One Piece, you can call East Blue that, but it wasn't the same sort of being in this same sort of place and it being normal life, more or less. Like, even
Yeah.
with what's been going on in these past few chapters, I still consider it to be just, like, normal life for this place.
Yeah.
It feels like Hajimaru is finally living a normal life. I'll bet with a little bit more violence.
A little more violence, also an immortal body.
Yeah.
And superpowers.
But yeah, I get it. Like, it does feel very early shonen. Very, like, we're just doing some adventures.
Yeah. I dig that
Yeah,
a lot.
if the first couple volumes of the series were just him going around here and having adventures and encountering different generic bad guys, I could totally see that being the formula for a little while.
Yeah,
I mean-
like I really wish Black Clover did something more like that. Like I think that's what's missing with a lot, or even like My Hero Academia. I think, but My Hero Academia is a little bit more difficult because that's a very like Bleach could do the normal town setting because it was hiding powers from the people and everything. My Hero Academia, I don't really see how they could do that. This kind of like tone that I'm talking about, but Black Clover easily could, and they sped through it so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's very disappointing. Oh, what was it?
I mean, I think we both mentioned at the very start of the first chapter that there's quite a bit of jargon, but now that we've gone a few chapters, like I do see how rereadable the first chapter is, and it does feel like we're going to come back to a lot of just stuff in this chapter throughout the series.
For sure.
Yeah,
I
sort of feels
really
like you have to get a lot of the world building in first before you can go into the series, probably.
I was honestly expecting the first chapter stuff to not pay off so quickly, and I didn't really think about it for quite a bit. But yeah, it really was all like tied into everything. But because it was Kishimoto going into it, I actually expected it to be way more tied into something way later down the road that we would see much later.
Hmm. I think it is a strength of the series that he's kind of doing both. I mean, obviously, we haven't seen that far into the series. We don't know if he's going to do some, like, super long pulls. But, like, he's already set up the thing with all the keys. He's already got this mystery around Hachimaru's dad. And while some of that stuff is paying off now, it's very possible that we're going to see, like, returns on this, you know, in 20 chapters, 30 chapters, 100 chapters.
Yeah, it's possible. Definitely possible. It's hard to say for now because we're only on chapter 4. So
Still
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
in the series.
hard to talk about all
Yeah,
that
but-
stuff. But
I guess it's just like compared to other series where I feel like they're either paying stuff off really, really quickly or not at all early on because, you know, they want to go for a long time.
yeah.
Samurai just feels like it feels weird to call it a breath of fresh air. It's more like it's a breath of Naruto air. It's a breath of air that someone saved from the early 2000s and just let go right now.
Yeah, it's just got a very casual tone to it that's nice. There's honestly nothing running and jump like this right now. There's nothing that has this casual of a tone.
Yeah, which feels quite bizarre because this is like peak jump, or not peak jump. It's not quite as edgy as peak jump is right now, but like it has this like jump energy that a lot of series don't have, which I guess makes sense. Jump is looking for unjump-like things, and I think this is an
Jump
interesting
is looking for
compromise.
unjump-like things, like the author of Naruto.
Yeah, the peak jump.
The least jump man.
But yeah, it's. I didn't really think about it until I said that out loud. But everything running and jump is all about. Like we have comedies coming in and out, so I'm not going to include those because comedies fail without question every time. But everything else, even the ones that fail or succeed, always keep a feeling of the pressure is on. They always make you feel like the main characters are drowning in like shit they have to deal with. Like everything, like even My Hero Academia, like we don't have that many breathing moments. Even One Piece now, we don't really have that many breathing moments. It's like right into the next thing, right into the heat of the fire, keeping the I don't know, the intensity going or something. And I
Yeah,
hope Samurai doesn't turn into that. Like, I think that is fine, and it's... I actually love series that do that. It's just I think everybody does. You know, even if you don't want to admit it, it's what keeps you engaged, and it's what makes it feel so tense every time you read it. But it's also nice to have something casual where the main character can be so... not overpowered, but we don't have to worry about them. We're not, like, scared of what might happen to them in the next couple chapters, or, like, worried if they're... not worried about what's going to happen to them as if they're going to die, but, you know, most series make you worry about, like, oh, well, how are they going to get out of this? Like, what's going to what changes are this going to put on the squad or the series as a whole or something? But, we don't have that with Hachimaru, and I hope it stays that way for longer than, like, one volume.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like they can keep the current formula going for a few chapters more, at least.
And they can
Yeah.
introduce like more bad guys and stuff like that. But like, I don't think it has to be extremely tense. I don't think it has to be a like, oh no, really bad stuff might happen. I think it could just be fun people to take down.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we've already established the overarching, like, big, super important problem. We have Master Dharma here, who is, like, he's our tie-in to, like, all the big cosmic stuff that will eventually happen at some point in the series. And I think
Yeah.
because of that, we don't have to worry about, like, okay, so how is this going to affect Hachimaru? We know how it affects Hachimaru, who's one of the keys. But it's not that, like, mind-breakingly important. He doesn't have to save the entire world by himself right now.
Yeah, there's no big thing of like, Hachiwara, we need you to do this, or like, oh, the premises for like every series that is big in Jump right now is a big you need to do this, or we need to do this if blank, So, even something like Doctor Stone, where you would imagine that could just be a series where people are just advancing through technology and stuff, is an incredibly tense series where shit is constantly happening and the characters constantly feel like they're in over their heads with everything. And just the inherent premise is extremely tense. It keeps the intensity up throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else I have to say about that. How do you guys feel about the character designs? I'm torn on them.
I'm rather mixed on them as well. Actually, there is not that many that I find that appealing.
Yeah, like, I like Hachimaru's dad's design. I like Dharma. I do like the general, not comedic sense of design, but I mean, like, I'm thinking about the guys in the tank specifically. Like, those were good, like, one-off, goofy-ish villains.
I like the design of his pet companion, who I forgot the name of.
I'll just put it this way: I don't like the designs of anyone that he's trying to make look badass.
Okay.
Like, most of the samurai, I don't like the designs of, but Nanase had an interesting design. Hachimaru's design I really love. It looks really, really good. Specifically in this art style. Anybody else drawing it, it'd be meh. But like this art style is perfectly fit for Hachimaru's design. His dad is okay, and Dharma's really good too. So, but it's like, yeah, the designs that I really like I love Hachimaru's design, but everything else is kind of it's all right. His goofy designs are the best.
Yeah.
But speaking of the art style in general, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, my God, I think like I've hashed it out enough, but just I find it too white, not enough blacks on anything.
Not a lot of blacks, not a lot of shading.
No.
It's a bit rough. It is very late Naruto.
It's definitely very Shonen Jump is you can't draw proper manga in Shonen Jump anymore.
I mean, even late Naruto had proper backgrounds and stuff, so you could differentiate the characters from them. This feels a lot more rough than that.
Yeah, there's an inherent sense of flatness to everything.
Yeah, we're moving into an age that I don't think is going to be fixed. Of just if it's a series running a Jump, it's going to have to be a more toned down and less quality design art style.
Yeah, like it's 100% an art style that is meant for animation. And every time I look at a chapter of Samurai 8, I always think afterwards, like, man, I sure wish I could have watched that animated. I'd love to see it all, with a bit more shading. I'd like to see things moving. I would enjoy, like, all the dust clouds and all the, like, magic planetary orbs floating around. I just don't like them when they're flat on the page.
I will say...
Definitely imagine... Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say the shot in, I think it was chapter 4, where he's like looking out on the whole place, or that was chapter 3 actually. I thought that looked really, really good. That was the only time where I was like, okay, that's what this art style was made for. There's some stuff that looked a little bit meh, but for the most part, it looked amazing.
Yeah, the big landscape shots, so you don't have to focus on the characters too much.
Yeah, but like most things are too cramped for not having this much shading and everything. Also, instead of chapter 3 or 4, it was chapter 2. Jesus.
Yeah.
These chapters blend together pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the character that was introduced in chapters 2 and 3? The Nanashi.
Oh, Nanashi.
Personally, I feel like I'm disappointed by how quickly they handle the mental issues the character was supposed to be going through. Kind of wrapped it up so quickly.
it's weird. It's strange. And I guess I've never actually said this out loud by myself, but I feel interested in the idea of Nanashi being a like potentially a love interest slash just a character that has a crush on the main character, a part of the inherent Shonen Jump harem. But I'm just not really attached to them, which is rough because we had 2 whole chapters with them.
Yeah.
That said, like we've just been talking about the pace of Samurai 8. It's not a series that is trying to move like any other Jump series where it does want you to get attached to a character really, really quickly. So maybe it'll work out, but that's a big unknown.
I
feel
just
like
don't
I'd be
see how
fine.
I don't see how they could do this any like I don't see how they could change it. Like I guess it is a he because they said that the physical body is a boy, so I'll go with that.
That's very insensitive, don't it?
I
You
mean,
have to refer to it as an it.
Oh dear.
they themselves called themselves a boy, so they're keeping it more ambiguous. But going back through it was more clear.
All right.
But what was I saying? That yeah, like the mental issues were just kind of like glossed over real quickly, and they were just like outside, like, all right, yeah, everything's okay now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how they're gonna then, even if they have the character appear more later on, fix that.
I'm not sure either, but I'm just hoping to be surprised. Maybe they get some more development elsewhere.
Yeah. Like again, it might just be my like modern Shonen Jump perspective, but it also feels like we don't have enough characters. We need at least 30 characters at this point. We're 4 chapters in. How do we not have 30 characters?
How do we not have a love interest yet?
I don't know. I'm fine with the small amount of characters we have. I actually kind of hope we don't continue to introduce more characters and stuff. I'm totally fine with it just being Hachimaru meeting people here and there.
Yeah,
that
if
are
you
not
just have
like,
minor characters introduced for like mini arcs,
if that's
and
the
they
case,
don't,
I
they don't
will,
all become
yeah.
part of the main group.
I think
That's fine.
Nanase it was Nanase, right?
Nanashi.
Nanashi. I think that could be better in retrospect if it's just a bunch of small arcs. Like I think it's fine to this sounds way worse, but I think it's fine to gloss over mental issues in characters more quickly when it is a series like that where each person only has like 2 arcs or whatever. But like where I thought it was going to be a character who's going to be sticking around for the majority of the series as an important character, that's when I have a problem with it. But if it's a character that's just in and out real quick, then I think it's fine to do a short arc like that.
Yeah,
It's totally understandable.
yeah, I was coming at it from the exact same perspective, but if this is going to be more of a classic, journey series where Hachimaru goes around and meets, characters of the arc and does stuff and helps people, then I could definitely see that working out really well.
Yeah, and maybe they'll like come back later at a different point to help out throughout the series, but they're not like a part of the crew or anything. I think
Yeah.
that's totally fine. But we'll just have to see where it goes from here. It's because they were introduced so early on that it makes us all think that they're a staple character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're going to see actually like members of the main party until we start encountering other proper samurai that are friendly to Hachimaru. Because it'd be a bit weird to just have the main character be this immortal regenerating badass, and then everyone else is just normal human.
Yeah. I was going to ask, like, what do you guys think we're going to do with the 7 keys? Like, each key is a person. Do you think that we're going to, like, actually build a party, a crew of, the 7 keys, the 7 people? Or do you think that it's going to be more of a, like, some of them are just going to be, like, formless souls. Some of them are just going to be weapons or something.
I think some of them are definitely going to be antagonists.
I feel like almost all of them are going to be antagonists. I feel like it's a clear number of like how many super big bads we have to defeat. Maybe there's one guy who's like
Really?
not a key himself, and he just has like multiple people who are key working for him. That would be like having like super big badass people be a key that we face at some point in the series would then have a clear indication of like big, the biggest of the big power level going forward. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
see that.
I get that. I
Something
can see
similar to
One
like the
Piece being a
admirals
rival.
in One Piece, or like the top 10 pro heroes in market, like something that is always like a clear indication of, even if they're not the exact same strength, it's a clear indication of like these are basically like the best of the best we know that if we ever come up against something of this like rank, then they are like the big bads. And then having a definite number of them is a cool thing to do, especially with like how video gamey this series is. It feels like, okay, we got to defeat the 6 other bosses or something.
So we got the best of the best and Hachimaru.
Yep. Well, I mean, I feel like there's going to be a specific reason there with his dad and everything.
Yeah.
But
like, they have pointed
boy,
out how weird it is.
his dad cannot be someone badass or anything, because he got taken out like such a punk by some random dudes.
Going to be more of a, like, you know, some of them are just going to be...
Lackeys.
Yeah. I mean, it could be the classic Ace getting his arm bitten off thing.
Ace?
His arm bitten off. Let's leave it at that so there's no spoilers, because that is a absolutely wrong statement.
You don't remember in One Piece when Ace lost his arm?
When Ace got his arm bitten off by a snake, I definitely don't remember that happening at any point in fucking One Piece.
Oh boy.
And with that, we'll see you guys for the next segments. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lost segment of the Weekly Manga Discussion Podcast.
Keep
We're talking
going.
about Lost this week, okay? Because you know what? We're so fucked. We're 4 people that, boy, we never have time to record. Nobody reads any fucking thing when they're supposed to. It's a fucking mess, and this is a problem every time. So you know what we're doing for the bonus segment? We're talking about fucking Lost. Hey.
Specifically, Lost episode 1 through, like, what, 5? 4? What
7.
are we at? 1 through 7.
We went that far? It doesn't feel like it. It felt very
I think
smooth
it might
thus
be-
far.
We watched 2 episodes
yeah,
last time.
We did get to 7.
Wow.
But yeah, me and Damage have already seen the show. Zaku and Thermite have not. They're seeing it for the first time. This is actually a pretty good idea because I think we might do this as like seasons actually from now on when we run out of something to fucking talk about. But yeah, let Zaku and Thermite take it away since they're the newbies to this all. Give
Yeah,
a little
explain
rundown.
the premise to us.
Oh.
No. No. Just what are your overall thoughts on it?
Lost is a show about people who get stranded in a plane crash on an island.
You're not wrong.
What are my overall thoughts on it? Well, so far it's a pretty interesting show. It seems to be fairly character-based. The whole setup of like, you know, we have like 47 people, but only about 15 or so matter. Reminds me of a lot of other stuff that, like, it reminds me sort of something like Assassination Classroom or stuff like that, where it's like a big cast with a few important characters.
Yeah, like My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I like that too.
It makes me
But,
think
it's-
of a battle royale with no reason to kill each other.
Yes,
Huh.
I would agree.
It actually reminds me of fucking shitload of not a battle royale, but of battle royale. Like, because that also was, yeah, it had like a huge selection of characters where you were constantly cutting to their flashbacks.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, you know, it's on an isolated island. It's about it's a good point. It's very similar to battle royale in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you know, there's a red ring or a monster that keeps you all encased in one big circle.
You all have one bag of things that you get that may or may not contain something useful for surviving on an island at the beginning.
Yeah, like you get a suitcase full of knives, and then you get a suitcase full of a book.
But what's your guys' favorite characters so far? We've talked about this off camera, but let's rehash it. What's your favorite characters? Just in general, like, what characters do you like? Let's put it that way. What characters do you like? Which ones you don't?
I like Locke a lot. I like Charlie a lot. I think in the most recent episodes they also had some great chemistry. I actually do like what's his name?
Fuck!
What?
I think
You weren't recording, were you?
No. I hope my thing is recording this mic. Okay, never mind. I will cut this out. For a second there, I forgot what the name of my microphone was because I've been going back and forth between them doing the audiobook stuff. and I thought that I had in my other mic plugged in that was sitting across the room, and it's been recording me for all these segments, but it wasn't.
God.
We're good.
Oh boy.
I just freaked out for a second. I was like double checking. I'm like, is that? That is. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we're good. Never mind.
God, that was
And-
terrifying.
Okay, sorry.
And I actually do really like that one racist asshole. You know, I don't like him, but he is very fun to see. Like, you know, nobody likes him. He doesn't like anybody. He just kind of shows up to yell at people.
It's a very interesting choice to have your main, like, comedic character be the guy you introduce as being the racist.
Hmm.
It's a very bold choice.
Yeah. You'd expect Lardo to be the main comedic character, but he's just kind of around. Like, he's not really a super serious character, but he doesn't really get jokes either.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't have, like, direct jokes, but I feel like he is also a comedic character. He just doesn't have a lot of the focus that Sawyer has right now.
Yeah. So, those are some characters that I really like.
Thermite?
Thermite?
Honestly, I feel very similarly. Like, Locke obviously steals the show whenever he's on. Sawyer is really, really fun to hate. Lardo, pretty alright. Like, all the more main-ish characters aren't really people I care that much about. Like, Jack is sure a protagonist. Saeed's pretty alright. Kate is a person. But I do think, like, the secondary characters, if you could even call them secondary characters, they do get about as much focus as the main characters. But I do think the characters that are not like super duper main characters are really, really good.
I would call the main, like, Damage, let me know if you agree on this. I would call the main characters of Season 1 to be like you guys are saying, Jack, Kate, Saeed, Sawyer, and Locke.
Not Charlie?
Yeah, I guess
Charlie's
Charlie
like
as well.
I guess either Charlie's like a main character or he's the biggest secondary character.
I think
Okay.
of Charlie, like, Charlie is like, you know, he's also like Boone or like some of the other, like Michael or whatever, like characters that will go off with the main character, but he's never like deciding anything. He's never there when they're talking about important stuff.
Yeah, he's always one person that can pad the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel
I
like
guess
just
he
based on
does have-
screen time,
You're right.
he gets so much.
Like, he
Like-
is, I definitely, like, I loved him as a character, and he definitely gets a shitload of screen time, but I never thought about him as one of the main characters. But that's solely because he's not a strategist or planner or anything, so it took him out of my mind as that. But yeah, I guess if you're just talking about, like, screen time, then I guess he is a main character as well.
Okay.
So,
What did you guys specifically feel about Walkabout, episode 4? That is, I think, I'm not sure if it's my favorite episode of season 1. It's also been such a long time since I've seen it, but it's one of those episodes that Damage said as we were watching it too, that just, like, immediately hooked him and me as well. Like, that is where I started to really like the characters in Lost as opposed to just, like, the setting and stuff. I thought the twist was fantastic.
Walkabout was which episode?
Locke's episode where revealed that he can't walk.
Yeah.
That he couldn't
Oh.
walk.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing one. Locke is there's so many questions around Locke. Like, even knowing what his deal is, we still have so many mysteries going on with him. Like, you know, when he actually did see the monster and just came back. And, you know, we have no idea what happened.
He said it was beautiful.
I really like the concept of a character who has, like, you know, theoretically prepared for all this kind of thing, but he hasn't really had any practical experience, and he gets into it, and he's living his best life. He gets to do all the things he's wanted to do. He gets to be the mentor character. He gets to be the badass guy with all the knives. He gets to basically do a walkabout just on an island as opposed to Australia.
Yeah.
And, like, a literal walkabout now as well.
Yeah.
And his flashback is done so great because it does the mystery and reveal thing incredibly well throughout the entire flashback. It brings up a thing and then twists it to be something else. Like, it happens like 3 or 4 times throughout the whole flashback. Like
Yeah.
with the first, where you feel like he's a part of the military or something like that, and it pulls back and he's in the office, and the same sort of thing, like with his boss making fun of him, and you feel like it's just because his boss is just being a dick to him because of the, military LARPing sort of thing, or him with his quote unquote girlfriend on the phone, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
I guess it's still a twist, but man, his boss is even worse now. Because now it isn't just like, hey, you suck, you can't go out and be a cool dude. It's also, you suck because you can't walk. What a piece of garbage.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Kick me in the balls? No, you're not.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely know people like that, though.
Awful.
I don't think anybody's really talked about Kate. How do you guys feel about Kate?
Kate is around. She's
She
is
feels like a wild
fairly
card.
interesting. I feel like I'd find Kate more interesting if she was less nice. Like, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her deal with being the criminal. But, how do you say this? It's not that I'm like out here looking for blood, but I do wish she was kind of more like secretly a villain sometimes. I don't know.
I can understand that
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I'm so split. Like, in a different way than Locke. With Locke, I feel extremely split on like right now he's extremely important, but is he also final boss material, or like season boss material? Whereas with Kate, she gives me so much anxiety because I don't know what's going on. Is she going to kill everyone? Is she just an okay person who ran away from something? What's going on?
I will say, like, I'm pretty sure she probably would have definitely killed at least the marshal if it was any other scenario other than what it was, which was, if she did it, then it would just make her look more like she didn't want to bring suspicion to herself, and if he was already going to die, then whatever. But
Yeah,
like that's all I definitely think she would have killed the marshal at least. But I mean, who's to say?
Yeah, that whole scene
Yeah.
with Sawyer, Kate, and the Marshal was so well done. Like, that in itself had 2 fake outs in a very quick succession.
Yeah, with Sawyer shooting him and missing.
Yeah.
Tried to shoot him in the heart.
Fucking Sawyer. Great comedy moment.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to really quickly go over your theories for the show? We have been keeping track of some mysteries and theories for like everything that's been going on.
Yeah, we can go over some.
Okay.
I mean, do you guys have any that you're serious about that you wanted to bring up? Are you serious about all of them?
I'm serious about all of them.
I'm serious about some of them.
Yeah, like, I think you brought this up in episode 1, the idea that the smoke monster is the manifestation of the plane crash. By the way, we know about the smoke monster.
Well,
Well, I mean,
You
you
know.
know that it's referred to as the smoke monster, correct?
Yes. We know
Yes.
that term.
and, assumingly it's the monster that's been killing people so far.
The thing that makes plane crash sounds wherever it shows up.
Yes, we think that might be like a physical manifestation of the plane crash somehow. Like a weird magical bunch of crashed plane pieces and corpses.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them your racist Sawyer theory?
That Sawyer's racist?
No, your racist theory, just like Sawyer, that one of the survivors crashed the plane.
Not everyone on the plane is.
You said
wait a minute.
specifically, I think it's the Koreans.
I just said I don't trust the Koreans. I don't understand the title. What was it?
I
Rising of
want
the Sun?
to.
House of the
I
Rising
want to
Sun.
remind us that this is pretty much exactly what Sawyer said in the episode.
Yeah.
The reason why the episode title is called that is because it's named after a song.
Okay.
Is it called "Don't Trust the Koreans"?
Not quite.
Yeah. I mean, also, we didn't. I learned after that episode that the main Korean girl's name is Sun, which also makes that a pun. But I did not know that because they never say her name in the episode.
Not in that episode. They said her name previous, but I don't know why they didn't say her name in the episode that's named after her.
It's not named after her though.
I mean, it's a pun on her name.
It's a pun, but that's not the reason
I'm not saying the
why.
whole title is named after her, but I'm saying the pun is on her name. They didn't even bring up her name in the episode.
Right.
Anyways, like jumping a bit off of the manifestation of the plane crash thing, this next theory is basically just mine. I'm not going to pull Zaku into this one. It's the idea that the island has the power to animate things. So part of that could be, the smug monster being the like animated version of the plane crash. It is the energy of the plane crash that has the power to walk around.
So, what is your like extent of this theory? I'm interested in like the specifics of it, because you brought up at one point as a joke of Charlie's guitar showing up to him with just walking.
That's a possibility.
But like, are you saying things that die, or to animate? Well, the plane crash, like.
I'd say it's like we don't have enough information for you to specify what the rules would be, but like I think it's the same ability that allows a lock to walk now. Like, it's animated his legs, may have animated the plane crash. If we might get a reveal at some point that people are dead and they've just been animated, that's how they're still walking around.
Talking about Jack's dad.
Yeah. Jack's dad definitely seems like he's a zombie / being animated.
I don't know. He seems more like he's beyond space and time.
He
What?
is Gargleblorg.
Well, he is teleporting all over the fucking place,
That is true. Like, we had the shot where he was, like, right on the beach, on the water. Like, with the others, I was thinking, well, he could have just run away. But the shot of the beach was very much like a situation where he couldn't have just run away.
I would have loved if Jack just turned around and just saw him scampering into the forest.
Maybe the dog, actually. Because they didn't see it for quite a while, and then it sort of just showed up. Everyone thought it was dead, but it sure wasn't.
It was the second character to show up in the series.
Yeah. Jack was in the forest. He was unconscious. He was away from everyone else. Maybe he fell out of the plane and died, and then was.
You cut out there. Can you repeat that? That he fell out of the plane, died, and was reanimated? Is that what you said?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, there's definitely something to the fact that he was away from everyone else and unconscious, whereas everyone else was very clearly conscious. They were all near the wreckage of the plane.
Yeah. Like, they definitely do bring up the fact that he was away from the plane. Like, bring importance to that and everything. Speaking of which, I just love the shot in Jack's flashback, where the very first thing we see of Jack's flashback is him on the ground, waking up with an injury right below his eye, just like he had woken up in the forest or something like that. It was really, really incredibly well shot. I love, like, the callbacks, not to, like, things that happen in the series, but callbacks to the directing. That happens a lot.
Yeah, the direction in Lost so far has been top-notch.
Or, like,
the
very first time we see Kate, when she stumbles upon Jack and she is, like, going to stitch him up and everything, she walks into him, like, rubbing her wrists because of the handcuffs.
Oh.
Okay,
that is so cool.
That's a very interesting detail.
Mm-hmm.
You guys also brought up the black and white rocks that were on the corpses, might be ancient backgammon pieces.
I'm less serious about that one, but I feel like there's definitely a connection there. It seems like they're trying to do a thing with black and whites. Not racist.
And then also your DJ Lockseed theory. Lock spelled L-O-C-K-E.
Okay, listen.
This is
gonna be
hold on. This is gonna be a really
specific. The theory is
specific
serious.
Yes,
well, let me say, this
agree.
is gonna be super fucking specific to. If you haven't seen Kamen Rider Gaim, this is gonna make no fucking sense at all.
No, we don't
no,
need to
it's
reference
gonna
that.
make sense. The name's just a pun on that, but it is a serious theory. I think Fur you think this too, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So we think Locke is, at this point, some kind of avatar of the island, or of the will of the island. He has power over things that are happening, greater than just being competent at surviving out on the island.
Okay.
Yeah, like it would explain. I mean, part of it might just be the fact that he can walk around, but it'll also explain like how he was so certain that he could go out and get food just from seeing the boars. Like if that's pulled from his mind or his memory or something. It allows him to be the like a mentor figure to Charlie. It allows him to do that thing where Charlie just didn't look up. His guitar was up right above him. It was such a perfectly planned out thing. Like, that could be non-supernatural, sure, but it felt so perfect in the moments that, like, maybe that's something Locke did magically.
Yeah.
Just like it feels like everything is going according to Locke's desires, and he's been talking about destiny a lot, which makes me
Oh
think, like,
boy, has he.
yeah.
And you
Like-
know, talking about if you give the if you let the island lead you, you will find what you're looking for. Stuff like that.
That especially, like, even the Destiny stuff, you could chalk that up to, like, things he believed before the plane, sure. But his, like, almost foreknowledge about maybe the mysteries of the island, and the fact that he saw whatever the monster looks like and just said it was beautiful, and he didn't tell anyone about it, but he acknowledged it as beautiful, like, there's so much going on with him. It feels like he knows way more than he should if he's just a normal human being who crashed on the islands.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Speaking of which, and you guys are talking about how it's a very character-driven show. That's one of the most fascinating aspects of the show, especially super early on like this, is seeing how they all handle a situation like this. And we just had a great episode that exemplified that with all of the survivors being torn between staying on the beach or moving inland. But just overall, in a more overarching sense, I just love how all the characters, think about things differently. Like, like with Locke and everything you guys just talked about. But then Kate is like the exact opposite. Like the episode 3's title, Tabula Rasa, Blank Slate. Like, that's kind of what her and Jack were all talking about. Like, just completely forgetting everything. And this is a blank, like, everything moving forward, it's a blank slate. They're basically going to live here for the rest of their life and everything. But Kate is all not about that. Jack's about wanting that blank slate and just getting away from everything. Charlie had to come to acceptance with, like, something like that. Whereas Locke is all about fate and everything, and the island will give you this and all that.
Well, I wouldn't actually say that Jack is all in on staying on the island forever. I would say, like, I think if the boat came, he would leave. But I think he's all into, like, preparing for the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, more of what I'm talking about is, like, having a blank slate and, like, he's making the life for them here at this place, and he's not all about asking questions about what happened before and all that, up until recently. He just got, like, blown out of the water for it. But, like, he's trying to hunker down. He's trying to be like, well, this is where let's just do this. While Kate is, like, every chance you get, just going somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys have to say?
Is there something else?
I think we've covered a lot for the first 7 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, Zaka, I remember you saying about how, like, heavy-handed they were with Jack's character in the first episode, like, really exemplifying how much of a hero he was. I never realized until a few days ago that Jack was supposed to die extremely early on. Like, within maybe the first episode or within the first couple episodes, apparently he was supposed to die, and he was not supposed to be the main character. But
You know what? That makes complete sense with how they were showing him right at the beginning. Like, he was... Because, they had such focus on him, like, that every time something went wrong, he had to take it out of somebody else's hands. So it was really made sense for that type of character to then have the storyline of, oh no, without Jack here, what do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so competent.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it's a really interesting choice about who apparently their main character was going to be, but I'm honestly not going to say anything about that until the series is over.
Yeah, please.
I don't think it would change anything, honestly, but I'm not going to say anything just because it might. But,
Okay.
I guess that's it for the segment. So, I'll see you guys for the next Lost segment. And until you tune in the next week with Long Discussion Podcast, get the fuck out of here.
Stay lost, everyone.